He was a man who led a nation's cricketing revival.
Hansie Cronje to lift the Wills International Cup.
But behind the calm smile and iron leadership was a dark side that would shock the world. This is Hansie Cronje. The captain whose story still haunts the game of cricket to this very day. Hansie Cronje was an accomplished batsman, captain, and at times very handy with the ball. We've picked out some terrific moments over the years just to set the scene of this former hero. Cronje delivered a batting masterclass against Australia in the first game of this 8-game series. Facing top-pace bowlers and the young Shane Warne, Cronje showcased his prowess by scoring a commanding century. His aggressive approach, particularly against Warne, was pivotal in setting a challenging total for South Africa. This performance not only earned him the Player of the Match award, but also led South Africa to a 5-run victory. At Kingsmead, Durban, in December 1996, Hansie Cronje played a gritty knock of 78 runs off 133 balls against England in the second test of the series. Having come in after an early wicket, Cronje batted patiently under the lights, mixing solid defence with some bold stroke play. He hit 4 boundaries and a massive 6 off Dominic Cork.
Cork to Cronje. Magnificent shot, straight down the ground, that's 6.
Showcasing his timing and power. It was a true captain's knock, steady, smart, and full of fight. South Africa thrashed England 6-1 in the 7-match one-day series. Hansie Cronje was on fire. He sealed the Test series against Sri Lanka with a dominant performance, particularly against Sri Lanka's danger man, Matthiya Muralitharan. Walking in with confidence, he smashed 5 massive sixes. They were clean, fearless hits straight into the stands. His timing was impeccable.
And again, 6 more. That's gone miles. So you ought to get 12 for that.
So much from
this is into this partnership of 50. And again, oh yeah, wow, this is just wonderful, wonderful stuff.
And his footwork was precise. Against one of the world's best spinners, Cronje dominated. It was a match-winning knock on a day 4 pitch. At the time, it was one of the fastest 50s in Test history. Oh, and if you like what you're seeing so far, drop us a like and subscribe to support and keep up to date with our channel. The history of cricket is never short of controversy. This Test match probably had one of the most bizarre outcomes seen in Test cricket. South Africa had recorded a Test series win and were at least 2-0 up going into the 5th and final Test match at Centurion Park. The Test was marred by the loss of the 2nd, 3rd and 4th days due to rain. South Africa battled first and initially had a difficult time in the middle. However, after 3 days of rain, the batting conditions improved and partnerships from lower order batters, Klusener, Pollock and Boucher, improved the South African total. Behind the scenes, there were interesting conversations going on. Cronje offered to make the game competitive by forfeiting the South African second innings and setting England a target to chase on the final day. The opposition captain, Nasser Hussain, couldn't believe it. Cronje was unusually ready to accept a revised down total from something competitive, 270 runs in 73 overs, to 245 runs in 76 overs. It was a mind-blowing offer, and if not for a boundary which added an extra 4 runs by bowler Paul Adams, this would have been precisely England's target on the final day. Forfeiting a full innings was discussed with the match referee Barry Jarman, who agreed that it was in the spirit of the game. Loss of 3 days' play would have been very frustrating for the spectators, but the decision really brought the game to life. England were down 8 wickets and both teams had a reasonably good chance to win the game. They eventually achieved the victory with a swipe from bowler Darren Gough, but the reaction to the result was undoubtedly mixed. Scenes on the surface looked like celebration, but not everyone felt that way.
Gave me a figure which I wasn't 100% happy with, as you know, as an ex-captain. I said I want to have a quick look at the wicket, and after about 10 overs of looking at the wicket, I sent a message back up there saying we were happy with that figure.
And obviously we've lost the series, but we will enjoy the Test match win tonight.
Cronje later said that there were different views in the South African camp about the decision.
And I think we owed it to the public to get out there today and be positive and seeing that the players want to play cricket.
The comments were refreshing, although undoubtedly bizarre, and media outlets questioned the behavior. Was the game fixed? The controversy amplified on April 7, 2000. Delhi police accused South African captain Hansie Cronje of match fixing during the one-day international series against India. The police released transcripts of phone calls between Indian bookmaker Sanjeev Chawla and Cronje, which revealed discussions about money and team manipulation. Cronje initially denied the allegations on April 9th, claiming that he never received a cent.
I have not received any money and I have never ever spoken to any of the players.
But on April 11, he made a late-night confession to Ali Bacher, who was the managing director of the United Cricket Board of South Africa. He admitted to accepting $10,000 to $15,000 for providing information and forecasting games, though he denied directly fixing matches. He was immediately sacked as captain. The scrutiny later fell on the recent Test match versus England and whether this could explain the bizarre circumstances of the game. Cronje later admitted that a bookmaker had contacted him and offered a large sum of money to charity for an early declaration. He later messaged back when the circumstances of the match setup changed favorably, but the bookmaker couldn't get bets on the game. However, Cronje later admitted that he accepted a sum of cash from the bookmaker in exchange for providing future information. According to the Guardian newspaper, more than $8,000 was received by Cronje. The match referee refutes allegations that the Centurion Test was fixed. This is also backed up by British-based bookmaker Sporting Index, who reported that there was no time to profit from anything between players and bookmakers. On April 28, the Indian government launched a CBI probe into possible Indian involvement. Indian police had linked Cronje and Chawla and a Bollywood actor, Krishan Kumar, while they were staying at the Bombay Taj Hotel. There were also links with an Indian bookmaker called Rajesh Kalra, who admitted offering players up to $500,000 to fix the India-South Africa one-day series. In April, Kalra told Indian police that the Kochi one-day international was fixed for $300,000, but the bookies had made a loss because South Africa scored 301 runs. Then came the King Commission hearings. On June 7th, former bowler Pat Simcox testified that Cronje had approached him about throwing a match as early as 1995. Simcox also gave further details of a game between India and South Africa in 1996, where Cronje openly offered the team $250,000 to lose a one-day international game after the long Test series. Several players declared themselves out of the proposed deal, including Andrew Hudson, Daryl Cullinan, and others. The pressure intensified on Cronje as accomplished batsman Herschel Gibbs confessed that he accepted an offer from Cronje of $15,000 to score fewer than 20 runs in the India one-day series. He named another player, Henry Williams, who was offered the same amount to bowl badly during the game, but none of them collected payments as they didn't follow through on the deal. On June 15, in a dramatic moment, Hansie Cronje confessed to taking more than $100,000 in bribes since 1996.
Unfortunately, I took the money and it is a mistake that I made and I accept it.
He also implicated Indian player Mohammad Azharuddin, alleging that he introduced him to a bookie. On June 23, a tearful Cronje ended his testimony, citing his fatal love for money. In the aftermath, the ICC created its anti-corruption unit, led by Sir Paul Condon. On October 11, 2000, Hansie Cronje received a lifetime ban from cricket. More players were named and the spotlight shifted to other cricket nations. Former player Mohammad Azharuddin, Manoj Prabhakar, Rashid Latif and Salim Malik were all questioned in connection with match fixing. Hansie Cronje appeared to retreat from the spotlight following the life ban. He turned to his Christian faith for strength and began speaking at churches, schools and conferences. But he never denied his guilt. Instead, he spoke openly about his mistakes, trying to warn others about the dangers of greed and dishonesty. He found some peace working in the corporate world and dreaming of one day returning to cricket in a mentorship or coaching role. It was the last day of 2002, and he had scheduled a flight back to his home in the Western Cape from the Joburg area. A detour to his offices delayed his home journey, and he missed his flight. He decided to fly Air Aquarius, a small charter airline he was familiar with and had previously used. This allowed him to travel as a sole passenger. In a tragic incident on the morning of June 1, 2002, the Hawker Siddeley 748 cargo aircraft lost its way in the hostile Cape weather. It crashed into a mountain known locally as Craddock Peak, killing the 2 pilots and Cronje on board. Investigators cited pilot negligence, though various conspiracy theories emerged. Did Cronje know too much? Many believed he was holding back. Were there bigger fish being protected? With links to a betting network, could there have been involvement from the underworld? These are powerfully connected people. If Cronje talked, then millions of dollars could be lost and reputations destroyed. He wasn't even supposed to be on the charter airline. How did it come to be that just 3 people were flying in such horrendous conditions? To this day, an element of mystery will always linger in people's minds. Regardless, it was a heartbreaking end to a cricketer still loved and revered by many to this day. Wessel Johannes Hansie Cronje was born on September 25, 1969 in Bloemfontein, South Africa. His father, Evie Cronje, was a former cricketer. His older brother Frans also played the game at a high level. Cricket was a way of life in the Cronje household. Hansie went to Grey College, one of South Africa's top cricketing schools, where he quickly stood out as a tough, disciplined all-rounder. He made his first-class debut for Orange Free State in 1988 and 4 years later earned a call-up to the national team in 1992. This was a historic moment. South Africa had just returned to international cricket after years of isolation due to apartheid. Cronje was part of a new generation representing a new South Africa. In 1994, at just 24 years old, he was named captain of the national team. Under his leadership, South Africa flourished. He captained South Africa in 53 test matches and won 27, an impressive record at the time. In one-day internationals, ODIs, he led the team in 138 matches, winning 99. His win rate of over 70% made him one of the most successful ODI captains in cricket history. He wasn't the flashiest player, but he was dependable, calm, and fiercely competitive. Fans and teammates saw him as a born leader. In a country searching for new heroes in the post-apartheid era, Cronje became a symbol of unity and pride. Today, Hansie Cronje remains one of the most controversial figures in the sport's history. He was a brilliant leader, a national icon, but a man who made some poor mistakes. His story isn't about cricket. It's about success, failure, temptation, guilt, and the difficult path to forgiveness. He was also someone who tried, in his final years, to make peace with himself and those he had let down. He fell hard from the heights of the sport, but he never stopped trying to rise up again. If this video compilation struck a chord with you, please share your thoughts in the comments down below. For more insights for you cricket fans, just check out these next videos on Cricket Crafter.